All right, people. All right, all right, all right. We here. We here. Come on in. This is live, uncut, unedited. This is where we tell the truth and shame the devil. I love being black. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in, people. Come on in. Come on in. Gee, live, uncut, unedited. Come on in, people. Come on in. All right, people. What are some of the things that they say about black people? I just came up with that title. Make sure you tag your people. Tag your people. Tell them we on live. I love being black. Come on in, people. Come on in. 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 Loving. We loving on ourselves. Well, my people, black people that love themselves. Love everything about us. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. And come on in. All right. Make sure y'all share the video. Let everybody know I'm on live. All right. Come on in. Come on in. I'm doing great, Miss Selena Johnson. Kenny Nicole, what's going on? All right. Come on in. Come on in. I'm live. I'm live, people. Mm-hmm. Come on in. 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 Y'all been waiting on me. Come on in, people. We want to debunk some of these myths. They're always talking about us. Come on in, come on in, come on in. I'm live, uncut, unedited. This is where we tell the truth and shame the devil. Love being black. Come on in, people. Come on in, come on in. Come on in, people. Come on in, come on in. Live, uncut, moving slow, but they coming in. All right. King Pisces, what's up, Nathan? Eliza Coleman, what's going on? All right. All right. We want to say some things what they say about black people. We're gonna go down the line on the stereotypes. All right, Nathan, I see you. Sharice, what's going on? I need y'all to share it. Come on in, people. Let me put it on my page so they know I'm in. I'm telling you. Live, uncut, unedited, people. We live. We are live. Come on in, people. Come on in. Live, uncut, unedited. This is where we tell the truth. Shame the devil. Let's get it. All right. All right. Come on in, people. Make sure y'all share the video. Let me see how many shares I got. I got 3 shares. Come on now, people. It's more than 3 people on this live. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. We live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth. Shame the devil. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. I love being black. I'm black and I'm proud. Robin, what's going on? Miss Emma, what's going on? Marianne Beck. All right. Need y'all to start sharing. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Get my water. Elena Clark, what's up? Michelle Wilson, what's up? What's going on? I am putting it in my groups. All right, come on, people. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What are some things they say about black people? We're going to set the record straight tonight. We're going to set the record straight tonight. Millicent, all right. We're going to set the record straight tonight. Where y'all at tonight? All right, I'm live, uncut, unedited. Make sure y'all share my YouTube family. If you're not subscribing to my YouTube, make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Please do that for me. So they cut my link. I need to call and talk about it. I heard that. We're not talking about link tonight. What are some of the stereotypes that they talk about people? And I want to, well, we can get started, people. The number is 872-299-0808. I need to know some of the stereotypes that they talk about. Some of the stereotypes. That's right. Come on, people. Might do it. Let's do it. Phone lines open. Ms. Harris, I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. And what? Deborah, what's going on? All right, I need some phone calls. We starting the show off tonight. Come on in. Come on in. All right. All right. We got a first caller. I'm going to take the calls and we're not going to stick around in the chat. I just want some calls and say what you got to say and get off the line and we're going to go to the next. I want to at least get 20 calls today. 20 callers tonight. I'm looking for the first time callers. Okay. All right, we got a new caller. Hey, caller, 8749. Oh yeah, what's going on? What's some of the things they say about black people? Wow. They always say, and when you say we referring to black people, right? So they say we lazy. Why do you think they say that? I'm just going to answer the question. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I believe that. How old are you, young man? You 30. Okay. It's good coming from a 30-year-old. Okay. Now, oh my God, 2 jobs. Wow. They said they can't hear the caller. Hold on. Let me make sure. Hold on, caller. Somebody said they can't hear you. Make sure I got you on right, cause you know me, I'll be slipping. Yeah, hold on. They can't hear you. Okay, hold on. You're gonna have to say that all over again. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. That goes to show you when you don't be on here a couple of days. All right, caller. Say it again. What do they say about black people?
We're lazy.
We're lazy. Okay. And why you think they say that?
Like I said before, I have no clue. Like me personally, and from my family members, us as black people, we're some of the hardest working people in this country.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay. And you said you 30
and
years.
like I said,
Go ahead.
30 years old with 2 jobs.
Okay. Wow. 30 years old with 2 jobs, people. All right. Is this your first time caller?
Yeah, this is my first time calling.
Oh wow. So you're in Chicago?
Yeah, I'm in Chicago, man. Southside.
All right, man.
Inglewood.
Man. Inglewood in the house. You know, Inglewood may be famous. I lived in Inglewood for like 3-4 years, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I started in Woodlawn, but Inglewood's the one that I really got grounded. Yeah. Okay. So let me tell my audience real quick before you get off here. He's 30 years old. He's a black man, and he have 2 jobs. And he don't understand why they say black people are lazy. Okay. Anything else, brother? Anything else you think what they say about black people?
Nah, that's all I had to say.
Okay. Mark. Thank you for your call, bro. You can hang up. Thank you. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. That was the first time caller. We need the first time callers. Call in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389. All right. Listen, the brother said it, 30 years old, 2 jobs. He's an African American, he's black. So don't listen. What else they saying about black people? We need to know. Somebody else call in and talk to us. I need somebody to talk to us. Yeah, I need some talk. Because people are always saying we lazy. We lazy. What are some of the things that they say about us, y'all? What are some of the things that they say about us? I need some more callers. Come on in, people. Come right on in. This is live, uncut, unedited. Come right on in. Come right on in. I need some more callers. 872-297-6389. I need some first-time callers to call in. Tell me, what are some of the things that they say about black people? All right, we're gonna show people they always attacking us. Come on in, people. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. This is live, uncut, unedited. Come on in. Come on in, people. Come on in. This is live, uncut, unedited, where we tell the truth and shame the devil. Where my people at? All right. All right. All you got to do is call in and say how you call in. Just dial the number 873-299-0808. Call in. Number on my head right here. 297-6389. Call in. What are they saying about black people? What are some of the myths that they say about black people? They say we're lazy, don't they? They say we're lazy. Come on, people. What else they saying about black people? They say we're lazy. And the brother said, I'm 30 years old. I got 2 jobs. Come on in. Yeah. Come on in, people. Yep. Come on in. Come on in. I'm looking to hear from some people tonight. Some of our people are lazy. Mm-hmm. Listen. Come on in, people. Come on in. Come on in. I'm not, listen. My buddy told me to read some of the comments, but I don't even want to read the comments. I want you guys to call. I'm looking for some callers tonight. Come on in.
Call in number
I'm going to reach. I want you to call.
872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389.
All right. They say we're lazy. A young man called in. He said he's 30 years old and he have 2 jobs. 30 years old. All right. All right. See, I know some things, but I want you guys to come on with it. I'm gonna give you guys opportunity to speak. That's what I want to do. I got some. Maybe I'll play a video then. You guys, but it won't be no fun. I want you guys to talk. Looking for my new callers. 872-299-0808. Come on in. Come on in. Yeah. Y'all gonna make me play one of my videos. I don't want to play the video right now, but I guess it's such short video. All right. Let me type it in. Y'all working me tonight. I need some people to call. What do they say about black people? What's some of the myths? What's some of the myths they say about black people? All right. Come on in, people. Yeah. What do they say about black people? Because I can show a video. I'm going to show one eventually. I'm looking for it right now. Okay. All right. Where my callers at?
Call in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389.
All right, I see a caller. New callers. They calling in. That's what I want. Call in, people. I want to get new people a chance that have never ever had to call. And what are they saying? What's some of the myths they're saying about black people? Oh, come on in. Wait on new caller connect. It's a good thing, people. I like this. All right, got another caller. Another caller.
Murray Warner
has joined.
All right, 01. Come on. Come on,
Hello?
people. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
yes. Come on.
Good. All right.
I was calling to answer the question.
Come on.
Okay, about people being lazy.
No, well, what are they saying? Well, what are they saying about black people? You can answer that, but what are some of the myths that they say about black people?
Okay, so right, one of those things are about us being lazy, that we want to live off the system, that we don't contribute to anything really due to society, and that we are all at the bottom of the bucket, which we are. But the only reason why that is because at the end of the day, that's how we present it. Even though every culture is the same, we are presented differently.
Okay, I want to ask you a question. When you said we at the bottom of the bucket, what do you mean by that?
So the bottom of the bucket is what I mean. Like, really, when it comes to, how can I say? So when it really comes to making the most important decisions, when it comes to really making the life-changing decisions, they don't look at black people as to make those decisions first. So as in, they go through every other race until it's time to get to us to make the important decision to change the world or, change life overall, period. Then it's to when they come to us because, they use our ideas but won't give us the credit, if you understand what I'm saying.
Okay. How old are you, young man?
I'm 23.
All right. I got a young man, 23. First time caller?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay.
Yes, sir.
How you hear about this program, man?
Actually, my mother, she's watching your podcast.
Okay, all right. Tell you.
I know how to answer this question.
Okay, tell your mama I said hi. So tell me why you think that black people not lazy, or do you believe they lazy?
Black people are not lazy, and I'm just gonna say they're not lazy. And the only reason why they make it look lazy because you got to think about it. We are giving the more opportunities. We only giving those opportunities if it comes to them benefiting off of us. So, if it's not going to benefit nobody else, black people don't really more so look at it as we can't do nothing for nobody because if we can't do nothing for ourselves, we can't help the economy, we can't help the world, we can't help the system. It's, we all at the bottom of the bucket.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. All right.
Martin.
Yes.
Hey, Martin. This is Mom.
Hey, Mom.
I can really answer that question. Hey.
Hold on. That's not really a question. That's what the young man. The topic is, what are some of the myths that they say about black people? If you want to do that, you can go ahead and do that. That's okay. I don't want to just get stuck on we lazy mother. Go ahead. Let me hear you.
Okay, now here's one. I don't want to say like a myth, but it was a society setback when it came to us African American, us black people. The criminal system. And a lot of us now not knowing that we can change and renew our lives or reestablish our lives, but that criminal system held us back. And another thing that holds us back is that FICO credit score. Man, and it hit us and it treat us so differently.
Okay.
Than it does the other race. But when it comes to and I know experience that I found out a second chance program existed in the white community before I knew it existed in the black community.
Okay.
And I'm a convicted felon.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So we lack a lot of resources. And if we don't network correctly, we won't get those resources.
I agree.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
That's to contribute to the system. Exactly. That's what goes to contribute to society and to the system. We won't get those resources until we actually contribute, which they say we don't. But at the end of the day, we can't contribute because we've given those less opportunities. They don't give us those top priority opportunities.
Okay.
Capitalize by hiring us in the workplace as a tax bracket.
Exactly. That's where the bottom of the bracket comes from.
Okay. Why y'all think that though?
Why we at the bottom? Why they use us for like capitalism and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Well, because like at the end of the day, like I said, they only use us for when it comes to making those important decisions because we do face the future. We fix the future. We have those ideas that nobody else has. Like, honestly, everything made in the world now really kind of started from black people, and they won't give us the credit. It's just, at the end of the day, everything gets shadowed over black people. They won't give us that light. And we honestly won't ever get that light till we all come together, but they all know that it won't happen. So it's we can rob them at any time. We can take whatever they invent.
So you don't think...
at the end of the day, we know what we own personally.
So, young man, you don't believe that we'll be able to come and get it together? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, yeah, we can get it together.
No, I'm asking you, do you believe that we will be able to do that? That's what I'm asking.
Oh, of course we'll be able to do that. We just have to cut out that cancer, which is always looking up to the white man or anybody else.
Okay. All right.
Looking up to thinking everything is the wrong and the right, when everything we do is wrong is actually the right. It's just they make it seem like we wrong because of our color, but actually everything we do is right.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, young man. I'm gonna go to the next call. Thank you for calling. Thank you, Mom, for putting your son on the show. Thank you so much, brother. Peace out, you guys.
Yep.
All right, peace out.
You're welcome.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead. I think that's Sarge. Go ahead, Sarge.
Hey, man, smart young man. I love hearing them young and smart.
Me too. All right. So
that's the future.
What are some of the things they say about black people, Sarge?
Oh, some of the things that they used to say.
Well,
until they had to do.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I got you, Martin. There's an extra bone in the foot, which that's the reason why we jump so high and run so fast.
Okay.
They used to say that a black person's skull was much smaller than a white person's skull, which means the brain was smaller, so they had diminished learning capacities.
Hmm.
I'm going back to the stuff I used to hear folks throw around in my childhood. Like,
all right, you wanna. Okay, you got to say whatever you got to say, because I'm hanging up on everybody at the night. You know, once you get through done talking, that'll be it. And if you got another idea, you can call back. And anything else you can think of?
Oh yes, there's quite a few of them. You know, you want to stop 5 men from attacking a black woman throwing a basketball. Oh yeah, man, he used to be real, but you know, I understand. I feel what the woman was saying with the FICO score thing, and through redlining and thus and so, which was devised by Lyndon Baines Johnson, LBJ. So but I'm not gonna go into that because that's going into politics and that's away from your topic. Mm-hmm. So I'm not trying to go there.
Well, you still can say you can say something. You can debunk that myth. All blacks not Democrats. So that's the thing that they say. They say all blacks are Democrats, and that's not true. You're a Republican.
Right. Well, you know what? Now, that's the thing. At one time, all blacks were Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
And then the KKK was developed, and they terrorized black people into not voting at all. See, that's a bit of history folk don't understand. That's why I was when I was talking to you about I need a good email, I could send you some stuff, where my people from Louisiana, it was the majority black and majority Republican black, but you had a small number of KKK members that weren't black, and they terrorized black folks into not voting, and that's when the Democrats ended up running the state of Louisiana. True story.
Okay.
All right. I know you know about the movie Glory, the 88, but the doggone, what they call the first Negro Guard, Louisiana, they the ones that kept the Confederate army from crossing the Mississippi, which essentially that won the Civil War right there.
Hold it right there now. That's good but that's it. I gotta go to the next
person. Okay, yeah. Okay. Go to the next caller, Mark. Go to the next caller.
All right, thank you.
All
right, people. We before I go to the next caller, I need some people to call in 872-297-6389. This is a safe place where all voices, black voices especially, can be heard. Y'all come on in. Don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. What are some of the myths that they say about black people? And he gave us a lot, And see, these things we have to teach our children, our little ones. We have to tell them, people, because they'll begin believing. See, we got this thing here in this country. If you hear a thing long enough, you'll start believing it. And we have to debunk that in our minds. A lot of things they say about black people are not true. Definitely not true. Definitely are not true. My more brother said we're not black. Well, we're melanated, Africanzoid. That's where we are foundation. We are descendants of slaves. Some of us, not all of us. Not all of us. And they use the term black as a color. They do in this system. Yeah. But I always say, get pulled over. they're going to show you what color you are. All right, I'm ready to go to the next caller. They're definitely going to do that. You don't have to acknowledge that you are this black color, but you get pulled over, go into that courtroom, they're going to show you, apply for that job, they're going to show you, hey, Dr. Sanders, I see you. They're going to show you who you are or what they think of you. All right, we're going to go to this next caller. 563. Come on, caller. 563 area code. Hey, caller.
Hey, how are you doing?
All right, what's some of the things that they say about black people? Some of the myths that they always saying about black people?
Well, they always saying that we like crabs in a barrel.
Oh, okay.
Can't stand one person get ahead, and then we all get to the top, and then we pull each other down. By the way, I enjoy your show.
Thank you. Thank you. Somebody said Martin Johnson. They said you were one of the main ones. I showed up voted for Brandon Johnson, and I ain't disappointed either. I'm glad I voted for him now. Now, I didn't vote for the white man. I voted for the black man that time. All right, I just want to get that out there clear. So, y'all white folks coming on here thinking you just going to make me mad because I say I voted for Brandon Johnson. Yeah, I voted for Brandon. It's no secret. Might vote for him again if he run. All right. Yeah. Sister hung up. Okay, she said what she had to say. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Hey, always coming on here with that them white folks always coming on here. This is a black station. Melanoid. Go on over where your people at. Leave us alone. Leave us alone. I hate when another group of people try to tell us about ourselves. They ain't gonna tell us how to get up under this arm of racism. They ain't gonna tell that. They ain't gonna tell about all the lies that they did in this country, all the people they murdered, and things that they stole. They're not gonna tell that. Real talk. Well, you say you say you're black, but you got the white talking points. That's just the same. Just the same. The sister said that they said we crabs in a barrel. I always hear that. All right, we need some more callers. Call in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389. Dino said, I've always wondered how blacks stereotype that we are lazy and how are we lazy, but they had us slaves. That's a good one. That's a good one. That is a good one. That is a good one. That is definitely a good one. That is a good one. Now, you know that we got people that look like you and I, they can't stand this complexion. They don't respect this complexion. They don't think nothing good. Yeah. They don't think nothing good. All right, people, 872-297-6389. 872-297-6389. 872-299-0808. 872-299-0808. Well, my young folks said, my young folks been coming through, boy. That's all right. They definitely going to learn something. They hang out with us on here. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Dino said, right, who wants a lazy slave? Dino is right. See, they say all these things that they stare. But see, the thing is, we begin to believe it and we begin to repeat it. If you look at the news, you would think that black people were the only ones out here carjacking, stealing, snatching, and grabbing. And the first thing another Nitro would say, oh, well, it's mostly us. They can't get out of their mind. And I guarantee you, and I'm going to tell you concealing carriers that look like me, if you're going to buy a gun, and if you can imagine you killing a black person, only a black person, you have been programmed. It's time to unprogram yourself. You have been programmed. If you got in your mind that you're going to kill another black person, listen, you should have in your mind that I'm going to protect my property, I'm going to protect my family. That's what should be in your mind. That's what should be in your mind, not just a black person. Real talk. Divine Order said, all skin folks ain't your kin folks. They'll sell you out for a nickel. Man, tell the truth and shame the devil. 872-297-6389. Yeah. Yep. Oh, that's right. That's a good one too, Melanie Payne. That all black folks have diabetes. And that's a lie. Or high blood pressure. Or vitamin D deficiency. Real talk. All these white talking points. And you know another thing they always say, black on black crime. You never hear them say white on white crime or Mexican on Mexican crime or white on white crime. You never hear them say it. All right, 872-297-6389, 872-299-0808. That's right, protect against whoever. All right, people, phone lines are open. I'm waiting on my new people to call. Real talk. All right, real talk. Hey, Don, you said I'll vote for Tiffany again if I lived in Dalton. You got some people who will support. They are supporting Tiffany. Live in Dalton. They will vote for again. What you hater? What you doing? What are you doing, Don? Call in. Let me hear what you got to say, Bob. I bet you one of those negative white talking point black people. I guarantee you that's you. Let me hear your voice. Call in. I dare you to call in. 872-297-6389. Call in and talk to me. Let me hear your voice since you black. What are some of the myths that they say about black people? I need some new people to call in. Come on, Dan. Yeah, that's your name, Dan. Come on, Dan, call in with your black self. 872-297-6389. Call in. Let me hear that voice. I want to hear that voice. So we hear that black people are lazy. We hear that we crabs in the bucket. We hear that black people got diabetes, high blood pressure. Yeah. All these myths, they lying on us. They call us animals. Yeah. All black people eat watermelon. These are some things that they say. Call in, Mr. Dan, with your bad self, since you got all the answers. You probably one of them bougie Negroes. I know it. Forgot what hole you crawling from out of. Call in, bro. Call in. Call in, Don. Dan, your name right there on the screen. You call in since you got a lot to say before I block you. Call in, Dan. I bet you I bet you won't call in. You scared. You have behind the keyboard. You're a keyboard warrior. Call in. Call in, Dan. Dan, call in. All right, we got another call anyway. Right now, all races are included. They watch reality shows in different races, the same storylines. Yeah. People, they have a whole lot to say in the comment section, but they won't call in. Listen, I'm open. I'm open for dialogue. I'm open for dialogue. I'm not just a keyboard warrior. I want my voice to be heard. This is a safe place. We're not gonna cuss you out. We don't even have a panel tonight. Come on, Bill.
Hey, Martin, how's it going?
Go ahead, sir.
Touch on a couple of that we thieves.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And you know that's a big one when foreign people come to our neighborhood and watch us the way that they do. They can be then opened up the first day, the first week, and they watching you. Because somebody then told them that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know? And I like to comment on the lazy part. I would imagine it came in after slavery when people didn't want to work for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But my father had a saying, and it goes to show our ingenuity. He said, if you ever want to know the best way to get a job done, the fastest way, and it don't work out all the time or be the best way, but ask a lazy man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he gonna figure it out the best and the quickest way to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we were lazy in the eyes.
Yeah.
So, and as far as stealing, they stole more from us than we ever could steal from them.
Tell the truth and shame the devil. Mm-hmm. That's real talk. That's real talk. That's real talk. What they say, what is the spending power of black people in this country? I hear people always saying $4.3 trillion spending power.
It's I think I saw it today. It was like 2.something trillion.
Okay, now, with all that spending power, where all these lazy people getting that money from? Have you ever wondered about that? Where all these lazy people?
It all.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. All these lazy people got all that money, and we stole it all. Man. Okay, Bill. Thanks, man. I'm trying to work this line, man. I appreciate you. All right. All right. All right. We need some more callers. 872-299-0808. Yeah. Come on. What's some of the myths they saying about black people? Because, see, a lot of y'all afraid to call in because you believe these things. $1 trillion. But where we get $1 trillion from? No, that ain't government handout. Oh, that's not government handout. We got $1 trillion in spending power. How do we get that? How do lazy people get $1 trillion in spending power? How do lazy people get it? Somebody explain that to me. Explain it to me. For those of you that's listening to me, that foreigners, immigrants, illegal, listen, our ancestors worked 400 years for free. And when they called themselves setting us free, only thing that we had was a shirt on our back. We didn't own nothing else. We didn't have nothing. We wasn't given nothing. We had to fight for our resources, for things we want. We had to plead and beg and march and protest, and we're still doing that right now and getting mistreated. I'm Mr. Dan, I missed your call. Did you call in? I believe you're a white man. You won't call in. You're a white man. Call in, Dan. Call in, Dan. You got to be white. Talking like that. And you disrespecting the sister. Call in, Dan. Talking nasty. All right, we got another caller. Oh, that's a good one, Brenda Clark. They said we messed up the neighborhood. They said, but it's be falling down when they sell it to us.
Robin.
Yeah, right.
Has joined.
Hey, Miss Robin, how you doing?
All right.
What they say? What's some of the things they say about us?
Right now, I feel like really there's no stereotype, to be honest, because crime is coming now in different races and different colors. And when I can see white women doing smash and grabs off Michigan Avenue and then Hispanics doing a smash and grab out of Primark, I've been stopped stereotyping our people. We should have been stopped stereotyping our people since Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
So to be honest, I mean, really, us Black people do see the fact that the crime have not really been our communities, although we have a little bit of it, but they still hype it up. But it's not really what it is. And I walk my community every day. Really, I see a big change. I see a big change when I go downtown, how it's, oh, wow, really multicultural.
Okay.
And I barely see us Black people down there.
Okay.
Same thing about the North Side. It's multicultural. But I don't see us like really there. I see the cultures from Africans to Haitians to Indians to Hispanic to Polish to Ukrainians. I see all cultures.
But
so now, to point being stereotyped, we're not really stereotyped anymore.
I think we still are. They still stereotype us. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They still stereotype.
Well, I think people need to get out and move around a little more.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
definitely, like I say, to see white women do snatch and grabs out of Michigan Avenue, I've seen this with my eyes on my way to work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like just grabbing, walking out of HM like ain't nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Putting the stuff in their bag while they're walking out the door and not being chased by no security, no nothing. I've seen it done again over there at the end of the red line at Howard.
Can I ask you
Ross or something?
Can I ask you a question? Yeah, how old are you,
yes.
sister? If you may tell me. How old are you?
49. I'll be 50 this year.
Okay. Out of 49 years, you ain't never seen white people steal nothing, take nothing? Or never know them to take anything? Before the snatch and grab?
I have, because see, I lived in the South.
Okay.
I lived in the South.
All right.
I've seen them take a lot of stuff.
Okay.
They do a lot of fraudulent criminal stuff. Yes, I have. But it wasn't no surprising to me. That's what I'm saying. I see the difference no longer to be judging in the cultures. If people get out, you'll really see a lot of crime being done amongst other cultures if you just get out and just get out. I see it every day, walking in, taking stuff out of 7-Elevens,
mm-hmm.
gas stations. And it's not us.
Mm-hmm. But who get the blame all the time?
It's not us.
But who get the blame all the time?
Exactly, but we do get the blame. Listen, I had to tell a sister, why she trying to chase a Hispanic? Because he stole something out of 7-Eleven. I said, yo, what you doing? So,
That's dangerous.
Your life is, no.
That's
exactly.
Dangerous.
I had to tell her, no, come on back here. What you doing, sister? No.
Mm-hmm.
I said, don't worry about that.
Sister?
You worry about him because whatever he took out there, some meals or whatever.
Listen, what if that man turn around and spray some mace in her eyes? She trip and fall and bust her head.
That was my point being.
Or shoot her. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, people. That stuff is insured. And guess what? they're gonna shoot. If you get shot, the store gonna open up the next day and they're gonna hire somebody else. Come on now.
That is so true.
Don't get killed chasing
that's what I'm just saying. A lot of us don't really get out. And I get out by me working in healthcare and being a contractor nurse. I get out. I move around. I see a lot of stuff.
Okay.
And that's important because if our eyes is only stuck right there in the community, you missing a lot.
That's true.
You right there stuck right there in this little circle. You ain't even thought to come out and look at the square that you see in your community.
That's so true. So true. Okay. Well, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this ain't your first time call this. No. Is it?
It's all right.
I know, because I know I recognize. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for calling.
All right. You have a good night.
You too.
All right.
All right. I think this is a good show. Just folks scared to call in. Where my buddy at Dan? Dan didn't call in with his white self. Come on in, Mr. Dan. You want to run this show, don't you, white man? Wrapped up in the black man's body. Come on. Yeah. All right. All right, come on, people. I need some more callers. Let me say that number. Call in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389. All right, come on in, people. Live, uncut, unedited. I need some more callers. This is your time. I have nobody on the panel tonight. Have no calls on hold. I'm waiting on you to call and tell us. Because see, black people love talking down on blacks. Now here's your time to talk. We love to do it. Here's your turn now. Here's your turn. We got another caller. Come right in a minute. All right. Dan, where you at, white man? I got another caller too. Oh, wow. All right, come on, my buddy. 1, 2, 3. I ain't heard from you in a while. What's going on, 1, 2, 3?
How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm still living. I'm still fighting. And
that's a good thing.
From the womb to the tomb. That's when I'm gonna stop.
That's it. So I've been listening. I ain't been calling. I've been listening.
Okay. So tell me what's going on. What's up? What's your comment?
I didn't really catch the topic tonight. I was just calling in to really listen in.
Okay, because we ain't letting nobody hold on tonight. But the topic is, what are some of the myths they say about black people? One is like they say we got diabetes, high blood pressure, we lazy, a lot of things that they say about black people. You know, but I'm gonna give you a minute. I'm gonna come right back to you. Then I'm gonna hang up on you. I'll come take this other caller. Then I'll come right back to you. Maybe you have a thought together to share with us. All right, 7370. Come on, caller.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Mr. Johnson.
Who are you?
My real name is Dr. Gentry, but online when you see me post, it's Andromeda.
Okay, Andromeda. Okay. First time caller?
No, I've called before.
Oh yeah, this number I recognize now.
Called in a while.
Okay, cool. Go ahead. Talk to us, Doc.
One of the major stereotypes that I've found that they've had about Black Americans is that we are piss poor managers of money. Okay. I used to work at Macy's for 10 years, and we used to have to get customers to apply for credit cards. Mm-hmm. And I have seen more white people come in there who had bad credit than black folks. So that's one of the misconceptions that they have about Black Americans, that we don't have funds, especially if you go into a store, where I've had an incident where I went in the store and used my American Express Gold card, and they had the nerve to ask me for an ID.
What?
But the person in front of me, they didn't ask for an ID. I said, you didn't ask that person for an ID. And so it was a whole lot of hoopla. The manager came over and everything. And then I said, I'm going to go on and pay for this stuff. And then I said, now I want to return everything, and I need the corporate, your district leaders' information. So again, it's about, they think that we don't know how to finance money, or that we all are just, some broke down, lazy folks who don't know how to manage money. And that's one of the big misconceptions I've always heard. Oh, yeah.
So what do you think about the myth that, well, they say that Black people, we got 2.4.5, whatever, spending power. So I'm trying to figure out where all that money come from. That lazy people shouldn't have no money, right?
All right. That's a big question. That's a great question. If we so lazy, where do we get all this money to spend to make economies run? I remember a long time ago when I was young, my grandma, she had an apartment or a home, one of the first Black families to purchase a home in the Austin area around Chicago Avenue and Central. And she used to tell us, never go downtown to shop in the neighborhoods, because a lot of in the neighborhoods at that time, we were going to Madison and Pulaski, and people don't realize there used to be a lot of Black-owned businesses over there. But for some reason, all of a sudden now, there was this mad push to say, go downtown. No, they wanted us to go downtown so that they can get our money. But my grandmother and the other old guards, they knew that where we should spend our money, and it shouldn't have been downtown. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. I've been around, lived in all parts of the city. Hyde Park, South Chicago, 71st and Stony, up north and uptown, all over. So I know, you get this in certain communities, you get a different attitude from people, especially if you're Black and you walk into a business or something. They look at you like you don't have any money. Like, okay, I don't have money. I'm not going to buy anything in your store. And I love it when I get to return everything to them after someone in that store assumes that I don't have money. Let alone assuming that I'm not a doctor. That's the best part.
Barbara Cooper, listen to this. Barbara Cooper says that our race are getting food stamps and cash assistance, but that's not true at all. Our race gets 23% versus white 44%. But we welfare begging and all. See, and that's what I'm trying to get people. Doc, now you're an educator, you smart. If you hear a thing long enough, you start beginning to believe if you don't know no better. And that's what I'm trying to tell Black people. Quit quoting all these things that you hear, putting that stuff in the atmosphere, passing it along to the next generation of people. Quit doing that. We shouldn't do that. We shouldn't do that at all. And like I tell, go ahead, Doc.
I was going to say, to your comment, a lot of politicians, they knew that. They knew that Black Americans had already descended away from needing public assistance even during the Reagan era. But still, Reagan opened his big mouth and want to brand every Black female in our community as welfare moms and stuff. And they already knew that Black Americans were no longer needing a lot of those assistance, and the majority of that assistance was going to Southern white families. That's where all that money was going. They were the ones drawing more from the government than Black Americans were, and still is today. That's just like the misnomer that Black Americans aren't graduating from college. Have people turned on the television around May and June and seen all of these young Black men graduating from Morehouse College or from Spelman or any of those historical Black colleges? Black Americans have more master's degrees, and it has been on a constant increase over the last 20 years. But you don't hear people talk about those things. So it always surprises me when I hear some of the negative stereotypes that people roll out of their mouth. But as an educator, I have to always maintain the neutral ground, and I maintain it by saying, perhaps that individual doesn't know. And so it's my job to help walk them to the proper information. Now, if they refuse to accept that information, then that's on them. That's on them.
Yeah, I mean, that is good.
It's a hard task, but unfortunately, we as Black Americans, we're going to have to constantly continue to educate people about who we really are, because there are too many social stereotypes that get passed on in movies, television shows, and these groups that watch these shows in all parts of the world, they come to America and think we're just like the Black characters they've seen on TV. And they get a rude awakening and find out that we're not. So no, I always take pride in helping people understand who we are as Black Americans. Now, do we have, some of our people who came off the track a little bit? Yeah, but everybody else do too. So that ain't nothing new. We know through going through the Bureau of Justice statistics that white Americans commit more crimes than Black Americans, but they won't say that. They won't say that, nor will they lead people to that information to find out for themselves. So there are a lot out there, and I commonly have to deal with a lot of them. In my last quarter when I was teaching, I actually had a young lady who was in one of my online courses, and she was from Maine. And according to her, Black Americans were lazy people, just like some of your callers noted that as being a stereotype, and that we're always blaming other people. And I said, okay, you're going to have to figure out how to walk this young lady to the truth. It took 2 quarters to do it. But when about time she got to the second quarter, she actually learned a lesson by putting her foot in her own mouth, because doing a group project, the person that she was assigned to work with, she didn't want to work with that person. And her final project was about creating a financial process to, help disadvantaged families get more financial aid for school. Now, one of the people that was on her team was a guru in that. She worked in a New York school district, and she knew exactly what this young lady needed. And about time the end of the semester came, you can only guess who did not have their final presentation ready. Her. She didn't have her stuff ready, because what she did is she came to the class with these stereotypes about who Black Americans are. And as a result of that, she failed to see the Black scholars that were in her face. Everybody in that class had master's degrees, but she couldn't see that because of the stereotypes that she grew up in within her space. So yeah. So this is a very interesting topic.
And I like it. See, it's only for educational purposes only, so we can educate our people as to what's going on. Because again, if you hear a thing long enough, you'll start believing it, and you gotta know what truth is. So that's how it works. I'm in media, so I know if you want to destroy somebody, like put a lie out there on them, it's a lie. You know, and they do that. And that's why I'm called live, uncut, unedited, Doc. What you see is what you get. I'm telling you. So people, black people, don't let them poison your minds with all these stereotypes, these myths. It's not true. Trust me. Now, do we have some lazy people in our race? Yes. We're not all gang bangers. We're not all dope pushers. We're not all pimps. We're not all players. We are not all carjacking. We're not all. I'm not doing none of them things.
Right.
None of them. Don't have no desire to do them. So wake up, people, and surround yourself around some people that's doing great things. And come out of the neighborhood, like the lady said. Come out of your little circle. Come on out. You know, venture on out and see. This is a big whole entire world of people that are doing great things, fabulous things. And see, what I've learned too, Doc, a lot of people look up to people with money. You don't have to have money to have common sense.
Oh,
you know, you got. You know, a lot of people got money and just don't have no common sense. They buy everything in their way. They buy their friends. They buy this. They buy that.
Yeah.
Really.
And that also holds true, you know, when it comes to certain levels of education. I told someone once, one of my colleagues, I said, I spent all of these years in school, and I heard the most profound statement from a 10th grader. And he said to me, he says, if white people are smarter than us, why do they have to cheat to prove it? I said, what did you say? He said, if white people are so smarter than black people, why do they have to always cheat to prove it?
Mm-hmm.
I said, I done spent all this time studying, and that question never came up. And this came from a 10th grader.
Mm-hmm.
A young black man who wanted to be, he was getting into social activism. And I said, you know what? That is a great question. And I said, I'm gonna use your question as an example in different classes and programs so that people can realize, you know, the intensity of what it means to truly understand these relationships that we forge with other people in the world, and how in forging those relationships, we also have to be mindful of all of those different stereotypes. Because contrary to popular belief, black folks weren't the mass consumers of watermelons. It was Chinese. But because of early Americana, we are stuck with that.
Mm-hmm.
But no one talks about the fact that the Palestinian flag has every color that a watermelon has. But nobody talks about that. Yeah. So it happens in education too. We can there's room to learn things from everybody at every age level. Just because I have a doctorate degree doesn't mean that someone else can't teach me some. My doctorate degree is in understanding racial microaggression in math textbooks. That's where my erudition is at. But other people can teach me other things as well.
Correct.
Yeah. And that's what we got to get people to realize. It's not that everyone must have the correct answers. No, the most important thing is that we can come together, have a conversation about issues, and help one another go and try to find those problems. All good educators know that the best thing you can do for a student is to teach them how to find the answer, not tell them the answer all the time. How to find the answer.
That's correct. That is correct. That is correct. I agree with you. And I always tell people, well, actually, my friend, she always say that. She tell her students that the people that know how to read tend to do better in life, opposed to those that don't know how to read. Yeah. And that is definitely true. That is so true. When you know how to read, you can do. Go ahead, sir.
But a lot of these people, or a lot of these other different social groups, what they don't realize is that some of the conditions that Black Americans were put under were as a result in an extension of the slave industry. There was a reason for that. They didn't want slaves to be able to read. Well, the majority of slaves to be able to read, because some were able to read. They didn't want that because they didn't want slaves to realize what was happening in Jamaica and in Haiti. They didn't want slaves to read anything, to realize that revolts were going on all around the world and people were killing their slave masters. That was one of the main reasons they didn't want Black folks reading.
And we'll kill them.
All these things. Yeah, we'll kill them. They will never teach this well, they haven't been teaching it when I was going to school in high school, but there were over 1,800 slave revolts in America. But the majority of the one that we always hear about is who? Nat Turner.
Yeah. Yep, the preacher.
That's the one we hear about
all the time. We don't hear, and that's the only one a lot of people know. I have a book on so many different slave revolts, and that's all we know. That's because that goes again back reading and researching. We're so lazy, we won't pick up a book and read. So lazy.
Or that Black Americans complain about, the so-called white man doing this and doing that. Oh, why do you people complain so much? That was over 400 years ago. But what people don't realize is that even after the Korean War, America participated in an act of shipping kids out of South Korea to all these other countries because the president that they appointed in Korea after the Korean War, he was a xenophobic who wanted nothing. He tried to create the purest race of South Koreans, and for Korean women who had babies by Black soldiers, they did not even allow them to be citizens of South Korea. And along with the U.S. government, they participated in programs to adopt those babies out of South Korea. And so when people say, oh, that was 400 years ago, I look at them like, they really don't know. They really don't know. They don't realize that the lack of information that's not being disseminated to, Black Americans is also hurting them too. They don't realize the adverse effect of their lack of knowledge, that it's hurting them as well. And that's why, when I have a classroom full of different students, I make sure that whatever subject students want to talk about, we talk about those things openly in that class, because the very same young lady that I mentioned that was from Maine, the next quarter when I had her, she did a magnificent paper on, in fact, the struggles of poor white Americans in the South after the Civil War. It was magnificent because those are true facts that took place. Although she also recognized all of the struggles that the formerly enslaved had to endure, and she had a segment on the freedmen's group also, but the majority of her paper was also to get people to understand that there were poor white Americans who had nothing to do with slavery, none whatsoever, and they were caught up in that same system. And I said, why didn't you come to the first quarter with this attitude instead of Black folks are lazy or Black folks aren't achieving the things that they want to do because we're always complaining and blaming everyone else? And when she made that statement, I looked at her like, but I'm your professor. So I thought I'd give you a call tonight since I'm taking a break from something I'm working on.
You gave us a free lecture tonight, and I'm glad. I'm hoping some young person that's listening to me tonight, listen to us tonight, hopefully they will learn something. You're the older person too as well, but preferably I'm stretching my arms out to the young people so we can Yeah. They're going to be around for a while. You and I, in the next 25, maybe 30, 40 years, we'll be dead and gone. We'd be left. Yep. We'd have been left this place. So we have to leave our legacy to the young, and educate them so they can carry the torch.
That's it. I do it in my neighborhood. Before I moved to my neighborhood up north in my area, it used to be a whole lot of little whippersnappers up and down in the park.
I ain't heard that word in a long time. Whippersnappers. Go ahead.
I used to see them, they like to have their little pants hanging all down. And so one day I just decided to ask this guy, I said, why are your pants hanging down? I'm trying to understand. Is that a new style or something like that? He's like, yeah, it's a little new swag and everything. I said, okay. I was just trying to understand. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. After that encounter, every time I saw those young men, and it was a group of them together, all of them would pull up their pants just because I was walking by, and they would always speak. They'll always say, good afternoon, doctor. Good afternoon, professor. And I'd speak back to them. So I think that sometimes it's the way that you approach some of these young people, because if you try to make them feel like they're not nothing in the midst of their peers, you're going to get the devil that you don't want to open that door for. But if you figure out a way to reach one, that one will be the one that will start to make the changes. And because there's a lot of pressure when it comes to peers, that one kid has the capacity to get all his other friends together. And so that's why I always tell people, if you can find one little whippersnapper in that group, and you can teach that little person something, that one is going to model that everybody else in his little group is going to start to be just like him. And now, none of these young men in my neighborhood walk around with their pants hanging down. I haven't seen one yet.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And it's been about 2 years.
Beautiful. Yeah. You know what, Professor? I think as the Black race or melanated race, whatever you want to call it, I'm talking about Foundation Americans, descendants of slave. We need to have think tanks. We need a group of people, a body of people, critical thinking people. People that's able to strategize and think as a group, for the group, not as an individual.
Right.
And that's how we're being studied. They have different laboratories where they do studies, and then they apply the studies on us. We need to do the same thing for us advancement of our race, of our people. Okay.
See,
go ahead, Professor.
Your topic is reminiscent of, remember the show that used to come on Channel 11 that used to have all the Black businessmen that will sit around the table and talk about different issues? That used to come on PBS, and then all of a sudden it disappeared. And then years later, I forgot how far back it was, but it was at Kennedy King College where Minister Farrakhan, Dorothy Tillman, a whole lot of scholars in the field had round tables discussing the issues in Black communities. That was a mighty forum that unless you were there or you knew about it, you missed a treat of your life. But I'm glad they have some of those clips on YouTube. And it was at Kennedy King College, and it was like an 8-part series where they literally just sat around and talked about all these different issues. What you just said, what we need to do to have something that's a collective, and so that people, when they get into these positions of authority, they don't use those positions for their own glorification.
Thank you.
When I went to the military, my drill sergeant, when I was 18 years old, he gave me The Art of War, and he gave me Machiavelli the Prince and this other book called Adam Smith, The Wealth of Nations. He would make me get up an extra hour and a half to read those books before we go off to do drill. But the one thing that has always stuck with me is that he said that when you are in a position of authority, that is not your position for your own glorification. You are in that position so that you can protect the people that you are appointed over. You're not going to receive any awards or any standing ovation for it. You're in that position for the protection of those people. And that lesson that my drill sergeant gave me at that time when I was 18 years old, his name was Sergeant Major Isaac Clark from Fort Bliss, Texas. That went with me from every leadership position I've ever had in my life. And I've lost jobs protecting other people because, again, I was in that position and I understood what it means to be in that position. He called it to be the king. You have to also realize you have to make a lot of sacrifices to protect those people that you are appointed over. And if you are not prepared to do that, don't take that position. That's the lesson that he gave me when I was 18 years old. And that's the lesson that I've always taught all of my employees when I used to work at Checkers. I worked at Checkers for 9 years. I did the exact same thing with them. Employees that worked the hamburger line, I created a plan where they could learn to read the SOP, the Standing Operating Procedure book, while they were at work for an hour every day, because I wanted regular employees just as knowledgeable as the assistant managers and me, because I wanted to create employees that I can now promote to managers so that they can go out and run their own stores, not stay in my training store forever. But all of that was an extension from Drill Sergeant Clark.
Real quick, I want to.
That's why I learned.
I want to throw you off a little bit. Leonard Roy said that didn't happen in the military. There's no such as a sergeant major, drill sergeant. BS. Could you explain that real quick?
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
Yeah, there is. There are sergeant majors that were drill sergeant. My drill sergeant was a sergeant major. He was actually going to be appointed as the post sergeant major at Fort Lewis, Washington, when I was on my way out of Fort Bliss, Texas. So he's incorrect. And just what happened on one post, one soldier can't tell you what happened on another post. So whatever he's talking about is irrelevant.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Go ahead. Carry on. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy.
So yeah, leadership is always about. It's supposed to always be about you doing your job for those people that you are appointed over, not you getting in that position and forgetting why you're there. And that's why we have problems with all of these different aldermen, mayors, senators. Like, why do we still have Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth as the senators? I don't get it. They're all giving each other jobs. They've been need to go a long time ago. And I'm not just picking on them two, because there's been some House of Representative members who should have been grooming young men or women to take their place, so that they already going to get their retirement check when they get out. They already got their check.
Has joined.
Go ahead, sir.
So yeah, I just think that leadership is about helping the people that you are appointed over to assume your position eventually. That's just like at the college level when teaching students how to do research. I teach them how to do research so that one day their work can be better than mine. One thing I always told my students is that if I can't trust your methodology for which you use to collect your data, how can I trust your results? So I teach them that research done well is done well when you ensure that your methodology is in the correct order. So again, it's just a matter of how people deal with different issues. That's all. And having an open door for people to conversate with one another. I conversate with colleagues. We get into it all the time. And then at the end of our heated debate, we'll say, well, let's go get a cup of coffee. That's it. That's what debate is about. You learn through debate, because in the process of that debate, there are certain dialogues that come out that would not have ever occurred had you and that other individual not been locked in that debate. It's what comes out that you don't expect. That's the greatest lesson. But afterwards, you should still be able to go and have a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, or whatever people drink, and call it a day, because it's just an intellectual conversation that both of you all engaged in.
Great. I mean,
one person isn't more right or wrong than the other. No, we're looking at the world from within our sphere of influence. Everybody's sphere of influence is always going to be different. We just have to figure out how we need to find the common ground that we agree upon that one or two things, and now we can flow in a certain direction. I don't need everybody to believe that, just because I don't smoke or drink or do drugs or do none of that madness, that we still can't go bike riding. No, we still can do all that. I don't have to, do all those things that you engage in order for us to have a common space where we can interact with one another.
Let me ask you a question, Doc. Let me ask you a question. Yeah. This is what I've observed from on this platform. When I read people comments, and when we get on a political topic, especially amongst my culture, those that are Democrats, I'm a registered Democrat, and some Democrats believe, talking about black Democrats, believe that if you talk to a Republican, you're a traitor or something. I never understood that, and Democrats and Republicans, they have to come together in order to pass a bill, a bipartisan, certain bills. Right. So I don't understand. I don't understand some of our, maybe we're just not just well informed when it comes to political things. I'm not saying that I know everything when it comes to Democrat and Republican, but my thing is I want to hear what the Republicans have to say. I want to hear what the Democrats have to say. And let me decide whether which way I want to vote, which I have a right to vote for whatever party. But I mean, that's just me personally. That's where I think. I don't, in the golden rule in politics is there's no permanent enemies. And a lot of times our politicians, they get along to go along. Okay, well, I'm going to vote for you to pass your policy this time, but next time it's my turn. I need you to come aboard on with me. And that's what they do. That's how it's set up. So I just had to say that. Go ahead.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we heard today during the city council meeting when everyone was voicing their opinion over the mayor wanting to get rid of the shot spotter. Because I guess for him, they're spending too much money on something that's not preventing crime. But his ideal of what crime is, or how do you deal with crime, I've always considered it to be a little jacked up, because as I have always learned, you can never prevent crime. We can reduce crime, just like with war or in peace. There's no way we can ever do everything we can do everything we want to do in the world. Move mountains here, move bridges here. That still isn't going to prevent war. But what we can do is figure out ways that we can minimize the potential for war to take place. That's the exact same thing that goes on down there in City Hall. I mean, I used to go down there when I was younger with my auntie during the Harold Washington days when I was a real shorty, and listen to all those people arguing with one another. And I could never understand why are they arguing about the same pothole that everybody knows needs to be fixed. Everybody knows a pothole in the street needs to be fixed. Why does it take so much bureaucracy? So yeah.
So that.
But it's been interesting, being able to get in, have some time to come and talk to you on the show, but even when I'm in the midst of doing my work, when you have your shows on, I'm always watching you on YouTube. I've seen all of the shows.
I appreciate it. It's just for learning purposes, and I'm just trying to wake the people up. You know, we just need to be educated on some things. I don't know everything. I always tell people I do not know everything. I'm still learning. I'm willing to unlearn if I'm wrong. Now, if I'm wrong on a point, I don't care about unlearning and to relearn. You know, some things we just taught and we base it on our feelings. And sometimes we can't go by feelings. We have to go do the research and fact find. And that's what I'm about, telling the truth and shame of the devil. And I'm gonna just say something, not bragging. I have this platform, and I don't know no other activists or crime church, whatever, that you can come on their page, speak freely without, don't know you from a can of paint. But I open up this platform so I can hear the rich, the poor, the educated, the uneducated, whatever walk of life you in, you can speak on this platform. I've opened it up.
Yeah. It's actually the same framework that we use in peace circles, where people have an opportunity to discuss whatever it is they want to, and within that space, if they actually have some jacked up ideals about things, that's what the space is there for. Is for other people to be able to help that person see that, you know, you may be missing just a small amount of information. This one I'm gonna tell you. And again, once you give that person that information, it's up to them to utilize it and reorganize what they believe about a topic. Now they have new information. There's no excuse for still believing, you know, the BS you believed before, unless that's just how you are. But when people put new facts in front of you, a critical thinker will always see how that new information jive with what they've always thought. And if there's pause for them to change their thoughts, then you change it. But if you think somebody just gave you some more BS, yeah, you stay thinking the way that you've been thinking. But again, the important part is about being able to come in a space and have that conversation. And that's the one thing, you know, I like about your show is that you do let people, you know, go ham on each other. But what they don't realize is they're really learning from each other at the same time while trying to make their point be the one that stands out. But they're really learning from each other. So you keep doing exactly what you've been doing.
That's what I do. You know, I want people to critical think out the box, evaluate, you know, evaluate these conversations that we having in these spaces. Because this is the only place that's public. Right. You know, anybody can log on to a YouTube or Facebook that's probably not blocked, or you make a fake page, but it's open. It's open. And I appreciate you guys listening and sharing the video and discussing it. And hey, people call me, you going live tonight? I said, not tonight. I got to get some rest. You know, it's kind of stressful sometimes coming on here because working during the day, and you know, then you got to have a good topic. And this topic came at me like maybe a minute before I hit the live button. So it came to me because we need to learn, we need to know these things. And people wonder why. And I tell my friends, those are successful, listen, you have to think group. You can't think individual. I never said that you could not make it in America as being a black man. You can, but what about your group? What about the race of your people? What about them? You have to help. You have to teach. You have to reach back. I'm not saying that you have to spend all your wealth on someone, but you can give them some information. Who was that man said that book said? Go ahead.
You have to always be willing to reach back to help someone else. And you don't have to help 1,000 people at once. You can help one person, and that one person in turn will help someone else. Just like I gave you the example of the young men who used to walk around with their pants down. Those young men don't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They stopped doing that. In fact, a lot of them ended up going off to different schools because I convinced them to, since they've been in Chicago all their lives, why don't they go to a historical black college? And two of them actually went to Morehouse last year. And another one is down in Springfield. They decided to go to Illinois State down there because that's where they had their program. But it started with me having a conversation or being inquisitive with one young man about why he was walking around with his pants hanging down. It started with that. And from that conversation, that caused them to start pulling up their pants every time they would see me in respect, because they would always greet me either by saying Professor or Dr. Gentry. That's how they would. That's how I know I earned that respect to be in their space and have a conversation with them. A lot of times adults think they have the absolute right to inject themselves in teenagers' fears. No, you got to let them welcome you into that space, because when they welcome you into that space, you are going to learn so much from them and they are going to learn a lot from you. You just forged a whole new relationship. In fact, all the kids in my neighborhood, people think those are my nieces and nephews, because I know every single child that goes the street up to the grade school from my house that they're going to be closing in about 2 years. I knew all of those kids when they were in 4th grade, and the next 2 classes that are left is an 8th grade class and a 7th grade class, and they're closing the school. But I knew all of them for all of those years because, again, I decided to speak to one child or one parent. And that's what needs to happen. For Black Americans, for people, for us, period, we have to stop being afraid to just say hello to each other when you walk by. I can't tell you how many times I've walked by another Black American and they would not even say anything to me. And I'm like, man, it must really be bad out here. And so I said, every time I walk past someone, especially if they're Black American, I'm going to say hello or good day. No matter how tough they look or anything, I always speak. And yeah, some of the Thug Thizzles they started not speaking back to me, but eventually they did. A connection was forged by us simply just saying good morning to each other. And that's all it takes.
Mm-hmm. I always speak too. I say, how you doing, black man? Good morning to you. Peace to you. Sometimes I might give him the bump with the hand. Don't know him from a can of paint, but just let him know I acknowledge you. I see you. I see you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you. I know your pain. So we have to do that. One thing about me, I'm with the people. I'm for the people. And I'm on assignment. And I'm not trying to take this wave of fame that I have and abuse my power. What good is this fame if I can't help my people with it? Period.
That's it.
Period.
That's it.
And I'm going to leave you on that note, Doc. My military buddy came on here to challenge your thought, but I'm not going to let that go on. We had a great show, and it's not going to happen tonight. He had to catch you on some other night, but not tonight. Not tonight. We're not going there. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys share the video. It's been a great discussion tonight. We got a free lecture tonight from our doctor, our professor. So we appreciate it. I learned some things. As usual, I'm always learning. Sometimes I sit on here this live and I listen and don't really say much because I want to hear from the people. I want to know what the people are thinking. What, as a man speaking, so is he. So I want to know what he's saying out of his mouth. Period. All right. I got to get out of here, people. Thank you so much. You guys already know what it is. What is it? Live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth. And what? And